Nicer Vanco plates. USA Weightlifting. These are work sand plates, but I don't think they're producing them for USA Weightlifting these days. Cover from MILO magazine. Chinese lifter. Yeah, that's kind of what any strength athlete would like their back to look like. A couple of days ago, I had a spider crawling around here, a big spider, come right from under these plates here and took off. But I didn't step on him or nothing. He's anti-fly, and I'm anti-fly, so considering where he came from, I just named him Milo. So somewhere running around here is Milo, my pet spider. He's a good guy. He's big. Okay, now one of my problems is being tight on this right shoulder, as far as especially with getting those cleans right, getting that bar up into my neck and this shoulder nice and in a good position that feels tight back there and comfortable. Sometimes I'll do my cleans, catch it out here out front a little bit, and boy, this feels like this shoulder will feel like these muscles is one on top of the other and like braced this way, and it just doesn't feel uncomfortable. But once I can get loosened up enough and get this grip spacing right, sometimes I get too far out in the grip to where I got this shoulder like cocked out here. If I can get this right, that helps. And if I get that right, then after working out a while, sometimes it'll just hit, go into the slot, and I'm like, okay, now I'm better. But to try to get to that point before I do go all through those machinations about, oh, this hurts, that's tight, I gotta rub it down, I gotta do this and that, before I get into the right spot. This is a new idea I've had. It's just kind of what I call a walk-in. You get the hand grip right. Just get a couple steps in and then just turn the wrist. Just warm it up, trying to go slow before you go fast. I need to get that bar back in my neck, right by my Adam's apple. I don't need to be, obviously you don't need to be whacking on it, but I need to get it back in there. And this is just kind of getting the body memory of how to get these old stiff wrists and elbows swinging around, and then get that bar where it meets me right back against the throat there. And then I can pick up a little bit of speed on that turnover. You can't be too, ain't no such thing as too fast on whipping them wrists around. Okay, one more. It's starting to feel good. Okay, a couple more walk-ins and I'll go. That's it. If the bar feels nice and smooth, well, I want those shoulders and arms, wrists sliding nice and smooth like that bar. Okay, that's good. one thing I wanted to talk about is when you start doing the videos and stuff, it's a good thing for me, for my health mentally and spiritually and everything. I really like doing it. And whenever you talk about videos and for strength training and stuff, it all, I guess, begins and ends with down in Columbus with Louie, Louie Simmons, and the stuff he does. And as you look now, boy, he's all over the place. He's involved with CrossFit. He's been putting out videos for powerlifting since the video camera was invented. So, a lot of people, his ideas are bought into by tons of people. Okay, well, I've been at different events for years and years where I've seen Louie as a young guy coming up and this and that, and as obviously powerful lifter, national champion, national runner-up from way back, late 60s, early 70s. You're talking 1970, 1969. Okay, well, the first meet I ever went to was up in Toledo, and it was called Key to the Sea. And they just had a number of really outstanding lifters up there, and here I am, green as grass up there. And I'd never seen a powerlifting meet, and I go walking in there, and there's this guy in the shower turning on all the hot showers. He's in there trying to lose weight like a wrestler does in the hot showers and stuff. It's up at Toledo, or some kind of Mud Hens stadium up there, and so they had a locker room with the showers and everything. Well, it ends up being it's Louie in there, and I think he weighed either 198 or 181 at that time. He had lots of hair, long hair. He looked like David Crosby from Crosby, Stills and Nash. That's exactly what he looked like. And naturally is, built up like a rock and everything. But he was the second power lifter I ever saw. The first power lifter I ever saw was the guy running the meet up there. Kind of a legend from Toledo, a world champion at that time. His name was George Crawford, and George was, I'm not a tall guy, George about come up to me like this, so he's about 5'2", 5'3", and he had the strongest looking legs I ever saw in my life. At that time, he held the squat record, I think at about 630 in the 165 pound class. And then, so I meet George. He's the first competing power lifter I ever saw in my life. I walk in the door with my gym bag, like wide. My eyes are big as grapefruits. I don't know what to expect. And here comes George, about this tall, in a white t-shirt. He's about 190 pounds. Out of his weight class, a solid muscle, and he sticks out his hand and says, "Hey, welcome to meet. I'm meet director, George Crawford." And I'm like, I mean, you can't even say that your heart sunk. You just can't. You're just like, like somebody slapped you with a bag of ice or something, And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I'm right here. I'm a Bill Punk, from nowhere, and I'm going to come up here lifting, and, if you don't mind, I think I'll just turn tail and take off right now about that. And anyway, to my credit, and my training partner, we stayed. And, you learn a ton, just a ton. But the big names were Dave Waddington. He was he ended up being a world squat record holder in the super heavyweights about 6-7 years later. After that, he was kind of a good lifter, but still had a lot of rookie in him. Jerry Bell was the head judge. Jerry Bell held the world deadlift record at 165, close to 700. Bill Ennis, well, I was most impressed with Bill Ennis. At that time, he was from Chicago and Northwestern University, and he had all this purple on a Northwestern University shirt. And now I think Bill squatted 6 1/4, and I mean, when you look at him, you're like, whoa, that's what powerlifting's all about. You know, he's thick muscled and just like, looked like he could move the world, you know. Well, anyway, to get back to Louie a little bit, Louie's in there showering constantly. Us lighter guys did our whole schmear, went through our whole squat, bench, deadlift thing, and you know, and I'm thinking, well, you know, we was talking about Louie back here, that guy back there, that long-haired guy in the shower trying to lose all this weight. So we was wondering, and the lifts in the second session start going on. You know, they start going up, 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 up. And they get up around 600, you know, and like, we ain't seen no Louie or nothing. And we're saying, well, maybe he couldn't lose the weight he wanted to, got sick and went home or something, you know. We ain't seen no Louie. Then next thing you know, Bill Ennis is up there. He squats like 6 1/4, and then here comes the first attempt for Louie, right? Okay, so he comes out with 6 1/4, and we're like barring, we're like watching this, you know, like holy shit. He comes out 6 1/4, takes it out real wide and stuff, sets it up, you know, and then takes a couple inches down, and boom, over it comes over his head, right? Hits the floor, and we're like, oh my god, you know, like, so anyway, first time we'd ever seen 625 being carried around, and then the next thing you know, we see it flying, right? Okay, so we're saying, well, he's a wreck. He's lost too much weight, and he should have you know, well, naturally, he come out for his second lift, popped it right up, and then I think he ended up squatting about 650 that day or something. And then when he got to deadlifting, there was a big guy from Sandusky, a really good deadlifter, and I forget, Bellevue, I think he was from. Ed Matz was his name. And then Ed Matz eventually finished like second or third in the senior nationals a few years later. And then, Louie ends up, I think, either tying him in the deadlift or beating him by 10 pounds by pulling a 700 or something. So it was a pretty, Louie impressed us, so, you know, wet behind the ears kids, pretty good that day, you know. So we got kind of an education. It was a good one, though. It was a good one. Served you well. Anyway, one thing that about Louie's videos and him teaching and willing to talk to people and all this, you know, a lot of people are gonna have an opinion about the guy and what he says and what he does one way or another, you know. And you know, there's philosophical differences between the way he approaches things and the way other people approaches things too. But the one positive thing that you can really say about him that sticks out is that he's always out there telling his thing to people. Like you've seen it, the stories before over and over. If somebody calls him on the phone, you know, well, they're calling West Side, which is a big deal now, you know. But somebody calling Louie, gets him on the phone, and they says, oh, is this Louie? And he says, yeah, and then they talk for an hour, you know, about lifting and stuff. And it's like, you know, the way I always look at that is like, you know, he's been through a lot, and a lot of really good guys of his generation are like not doing that thing he's doing. They're not taking the time for young people, and you know, they're not taking time to coach anybody else or anything, and it just seems like it's obvious that a guy like Louie, you know, loves to do that. Maybe he loves to just talk lifting and loves to coach and stuff and see somebody do better, whatever, for whatever reason. He's giving of the knowledge that he knows and giving of it freely. And, you know, there's a lot of big stars in powerlifting that, one, you never saw him do anything like that. And two, especially for the length of period he's been doing it. You know, there's guys that have faded into the mist, on into the background, sat in their easy chair, shrunk up, and you never hear from them again. But that's one thing about Louie. People got different opinions and everything, but when you see a video of him sitting in that chair and he's rattling on, he's talking this, and you know, his enthusiasm's still there, and he obviously just loves trying to teach like that, you know, and you know, you gotta give him credit for passing on his wisdom to people, and you know, he's still vital, you know. I say probably, anyway, well, whatever. I guess the point is, I like doing the videos, and it's obviously that I like standing here shooting the breeze and stuff, and but you know, if I get any kind of, if I sound anyway like I got any kind of an ego going on or something, just gotta call me on that in a minute, will you? Because that shit sucks. But, you know, as far as being in the gym, I love being in the gym and talking, lifting, and, you know, I'm not in a big city situation, and I have certifications for training and stuff, and my history as a power lifter, and I say my old guy rookie history as an Olympic lifter. So what I lack is the place to go with the knowledge that I got, and it's been like hard earned over the years in my experience and stuff. And you know, you hear a lot about, oh, this guy wants to see you, this guy wants to, young guy need help and stuff, but this doing the videos really helps me focus on trying to talk to people who say like, hey, I want to get better. I mean, and they're not blowing smoke. They want to get better. That's who I'm talking to. That's who I'm doing these videos to, for trying to pass a little bit of the experience I had on to somebody else. And because, you know, I know when I was a kid, man, I wanted somebody to coach me or somebody to give me advice, and it was just a desert out there anyway. So that's enough for now.